Hello everyone, this is Dr. Kiran Mai. Welcome to the today's pharmacology class. Topic for the class is thyroid and anti-thyroid drugs. The contents we are dealing in this class are we'll have introduction, what is thyroid, where it is, anatomical position and all, and the function of thyroid gland, that is secretion of hormones, that is T3, T4 and calcitonin. How these thyroid hormones are synthesized. Functions of these thyroid hormones, physiological functions, and diseases of thyroid gland and their treatment. These are the contents we are going to discuss. First one, thyroid gland. Thyroid gland, it is a butterfly-shaped gland which is present on anterior aspect of the neck. We can say it is a front side of the neck, which is having two lobes and an isthmus. This is a left lobe, this is a right lobe, it is a isthmus. These two lobes are joined with isthmus. And thyroid hormone, thyroid gland synthesizes thyroid hormones, majorly three. T3, T4 and calcitonin. Calcitonin is mainly concerned with the calcium regulation. So this calcitonin is dealt with other calcium regulators. Now in this class we are going to mainly focus on T3 and T4. Synthesis of these T3 and T4. How these T3 and T4 are synthesized. For the synthesis of T3 and T4, iodine is a sole molecule which we have to supply to the thyroid gland through a diet, a salt. How this iodine is enters into the body through this pump. Here in the picture we have in blue color we have sodium iodide symporter. By this in this picture we have this is round one is a thyroid follicular cell. In these follicular cells, these cells are produce thyroid hormones. In the center we have colloid full of in colloid we have tyrosine amino acid residues. So these tyrosine amino acid residue have to be incorporated with iodine to form T3, T4. How this process takes on. First, iodine enters into the thyroid cell through sodium iodide symporter. When it enters into the cell, it goes oxidation. After oxidation, is this oxidized iodine mixed with tyrosine residues which are present in colloid and forms monoiodothyronine or diiodothyronines. This is called organification. After formation of MIT and DIT, these will couple again. That means this monoiodothyronine and diiodothyronine will couple among their self. Like monoiodothyronine will bind with diiodothyronine, which are going to form triiodothyronine. Nothing but it's a T3. And diiodothyronine, which coupled with diiodothyronine, will form T4. That is tetraiodothyronine. So all these reactions, that is oxidation, organification and coupling, all these are catalyzed, all the three actions are catalyzed by thyroxine peroxidase enzyme. After forming that, after synthesizing the T3 and T4, This T3 and T4 will enter into the blood. They are bind to the thyroglobulin. These are the proteins. Then in the bond form, they'll go to the different tissues. In peripheral site, T4 is mainly converted to 3T because T3 is very active hormone, whereas T4 is activity is very less. So for the utilization purpose, T3 is T4 is converted into T3. These peripheral conversion takes place at liver, skeletal muscle, and adipose tissue. This is regarding the synthesis of thyroid hormones and their transport to the site. What are the and these synthesis of thyroid hormones is regulated by the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus secretes thyroid stimulating hormone. These thyroid stimulating hormones stimulate the follicular cells, that is thyroid cells, to synthesize T3 and T4. So this THS or thyroid stimulating hormone is a key factor for the synthesis of T3 T4. It is also called as negative feedback mechanism. If the T3 T4 levels are very less in the blood, so hypothalamus will produce more thyroid stimulating hormone to secrete more T3 T4. So thyroid gland mainly under influence of hypothalamus. What are the functions of these thyroid hormones? The physiological functions, it affects on metabolism and it affects on growth and development. The two main important factors. First one is metabolism. It increases the BMR, basal metabolic rate. Thyroid hormone, which increases the metabolism of carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins, the major food constituents, to produce the energy which is utilized by the body. And calorigenic effect. Thyroid hormone also controls the body temperature by stimulating the sodium potassium ATP channels. By utilization of ATP, they will produce heat. That heat is very much important for the human body temperature. So because of this effect, humans can be, mammals can be survive in extreme cold also. This is regarding calorigenic effect. Number 2, growth and development. Thyroid hormone very much important, especially during pregnancy. We have to maintain thyroid hormones in pregnancy because this thyroid hormone is like T3 and T4. These are essential for CNS and skeletal muscle development. Lack of thyroid hormone during the pregnancy, children will get mental retardation due to developmental problems in CNS. The problems, diseases of the thyroid gland mainly divided into hypothyroid and hyperthyroid. In hypothyroid, we have cretinism, myxedema, Hashimoto thyroiditis, hypothyroidism during pregnancy, endemic goiter, endemic cretinism. These are the different diseases regarding hypothyroidism. Hyperthyroidism, we have Graves, multinodular goiter, subacute thyroiditis. What are the symptoms of hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism? We already discussed that thyroid gland, which increases the basal metabolic rate. This thyroid hormone will increase the basal. So In hypothyroidism, it is underactive thyroid. So basal metabolic rate is decreased. So the major food constituents will not be degraded. So patient will have weight gain, increased cholesterol, dry skin, constipation, sensitivity to cold, fatigue, hair loss. These are the hypothyroid symptoms. Whereas hypothyroidism is due to overactive thyroid. T3, T4 levels are very high in this condition. Here, in these patients, the basal metabolic rate is very much increased. So, in spite of having good appetite, also patient tend to lose weight and have excessive sweating and anxiety issues, trouble sleeping. These are the manifestations of hyperthyroidism. A diagnosis of thyroid diseases, it is dependent on THS levels, T3 and T4. In these three, the main thing is THS, thyroid stimulating hormone. We have to look for the THS first. First, if the thyroid stimulating hormone is elevated, so due to negative feedback mechanism, T3, T4 are decreased. That's why it is increased. So we can label that patient as hypothyroid, where in the hypothyroid THS levels are elevated, T3 levels are decreased. The normal range of THS is 0.4 to 4 milli units per liter. It's a normal range. Normal T3 levels are 2.3 to 4.2 picograms per milliliter. T4 levels 0.8 to 2.8 milligrams per deciliter. Along with this, we need to check thyroid antibodies in certain diseases like Graves' disease, autoimmune disease, and Hashimoto thyroiditis. These are the autoimmune diseases. How to manage the hypothyroid patient? Hypothyroidism, where T3, T4 levels are very low. The modality of treatment is replacement therapy of hormone. So we need to supply either T3 or T4. The mostly used thyroid hormone is T4 in the form of levothyroxine. Why we prefer T4 than T3? T4 is longer acting, so dosage schedule will be once a day when we take T4, and it is less active, and T3 is more active. Anyway, in peripheral conversion, T4 is converted into T3, and in the body, it is T3 is in less amounts, T4 is in more amounts, and T4 is, when compared to the T3, T4 is economically available to the patients. T3 is very costly. Normally, in all hypothyroid cases, drug of choice is levothyroxine. When leothyronin, it's a T3 analog, which is drug of choice in emergency conditions like myxedema coma. And we already discussed that management of hypothyroidism in the pregnancy. It is very much important because in pregnancy, normally maternal thyroid binding globulins are increased. So thyroid hormone is normal also. These due to the increased thyroid binding globulins, these hormones will bind to the thyroid binding globulins. So the free hormone will be decreased. So if the patient is already hypothyroid, it affects most, it affects most because patient will have T3 T4 very less. So assessment of T4 levels are very much needed in the pregnancy. If patient is already hypothyroid, we need to add 20% of extra thyroid hormone than the normal dose. We need to increase. And next, subclinical hypothyroidism. Here patient is euthyroid. That means his or her thyroid values are normal, but with raised thyroid stimulating hormone. In these cases, if patient is having clinical symptoms only, we need to treat them. After achieving euthyroid state, we'll discontinue the treatment. And goiter and cretinism. Decreased thyroid hormone in children is cretinism. Decreased thyroid hormone in adults, that is myxedema. In endemic goiter, people live where the areas is having low levels of iodine in food and water. So due to compensate decreased T3 and T4, thyroid gland increase in size to produce the more T3 and T4. It can be controlled by giving adequate iodine intake through the salt and bread in the form of potassium iodide. If there is severe iodine deficiency, hypothyroidism will occur in that patient. So invariably we have to supply levothyroxine. Hormone replacement therapy should be started, but indicated. But when euthyroid state is attained, iodine intake will, after supplying adequate iodine intake, we can stop the hormone replacement therapy. So in endemic goiter, we need to ensure that patient should receive adequate iodine intake. In endemic cretinism, if the patient cretinism is normally, it is seen in kids, that is children. When pregnant lady is having hypothyroidism, or where she lives in the endemic goiter, endemic in endemic areas, so we need to regulate the thyroid hormone levels in the pregnant lady, very much needed, because iodine is needed for the myelination of CNS neurons. So in endemic areas, iodine is very less, deficient in food and water. So this pregnant lady, already hypothyroid, is having very less iodine levels. So she fetus is solely dependent on mother for iodine. If iodine is deficient, so fetus will be affected by dysregulated myelin of CNS neurons. Invariably, the kid develops mental retardation and hypothyroid state since the birth. It is endemic cretinism. It's the goiter. Here, the thyroid gland is enlarged due to decreased T3 and T4. To compensate the T3 and T3 T4 amounts, the thyroid gland enlarges. This is endemic, and this is normal children. This is normal child, and in to our right side we have creatine. It is a hypothyroidism during the childhood. Here, cretins, these are mentally retarded. He is a mentally retarded person and having pot-like belly, yellow skins, and dwarf. You can see if you compare this cretin child with a normal child, this cretin child is dwarf. That means his height is less. Management of hypothyroidism. After establishment of diagnosis, levothyroxine is administered initially in a dose of 50 to 100 micrograms orally daily, and it is increased by 25 to 50 micrograms at 2 weeks interval unless patient does not complain of adverse effects such as palpitations, tremors or sweating, or until THS levels become normal and the patient is euthyroid. For infants or cretinism, the dose is 10 to 15 micrograms per kg per day. For a child, that means 6 to 12 months, 6 to 8 micrograms per kg per day. For 1 to 5 years children, it is 5 to 6 micrograms per kg per day. The drug is continued for lifelong with periodic THS level evaluation and which needed subsequent doses adjustment. This is regarding the hypothyroidism and its management. What are the adverse drug reactions to the treatment of hypothyroid? That is, if we given levothyroxine in excessive amount, what will in excessive amount it will show the hyperthyroid symptoms like tachycardia, palpitations, arrhythmias. Patients will have tremors, weight loss, diarrhea, insomnia, heat intolerance. So if these symptoms are seen in a patient, we need to withdraw the medication for few days, then dose adjustment will be seen. Again we need to start the therapy. Hyperthyroidism. Hyperthyroidism is two types: thyrotoxicosis, hyperthyroidism. Normally both are interchangeable, but normal in general thyrotoxicosis is used when the supplementation therapy, that is in hypothyroid patients, if we give more excessive amounts of levothyroxine, so thyrotoxicosis is increased supplementation of levothyroxine, that is drug induced supplementation, whereas hyperthyroidism is increased amount of T3 T4 secretion of T3 T4 in the human body, but these two are interchangeable. Diseases where hyperthyroidism is manifest is they are Graves' disease, multinodular goiter, subacute thyroiditis. In Graves' disease, it is an autoimmune disease. Here, antibodies here antibodies are formed against the THS. So antibodies, these auto antibodies, they will stimulate the thyroid gland to produce the thyroid. This is regarding the Graves' disease. Graves, in the manifestation of Graves' disease is bulged eyes, eyelids are retracted due to periorbital edema and palpebral muscle retraction. These are the symptoms of Graves' disease. Manifestations. Manifestation of hyperthyroidism is there are tachycardia, palpitations, arrhythmias, tremors, weight loss, diarrhea, insomnia, heat intolerance. These are the manifestations of hyperthyroid symptoms. And drugs where we can use these antithyroid drugs are in hyperthyroid state. If these hyperthyroidism due to the excessive supply of the thyroxine hormone, that is uh, levothyroxine, we need to withdraw the medication for few days. Antithyroid drugs, these antithyroid drugs, they are mainly divided into 5 categories. First one is the inhibitors of sodium iodine synthetase. Number two, peroxidase enzyme inhibitors. This peroxidase enzyme is catalyzing the all main three actions of T3T4 formation. Secretion into the blood inhibitors. These are secretion inhibitors. Number two, peripheral conversion inhibitors. Last, the thyroid destroying drugs. That includes iodine 131. Their mechanism of action, we need to again go through this slide. First group of drugs, they inhibit the sodium iodine synthetase. So iodine is not enter into the cell if we block this. So these drugs include perchlorate, pertectinate, thiocyanate. And second group of drugs, peroxidase enzyme inhibitors. Peroxidase enzyme will helps in the oxidation, organification and coupling. These three steps of the thyroid T3 T4 synthesis are inhibited by these drugs. These are carbimazole, methimazole, propylthiouracil. And secretion inhibitor, once these T3 T4 are synthesized, they need to come into the blood. So these secretion inhibitors will they are sodium iodide, potassium iodide, and Lugol's iodine, and inhibitors of peripheral conversion. So these are propranolol, propylthiouracil, prednisolone. These are the peripheral conversion inhibitors. Last drug is last group of drug is destroying drug, thyroid follicle destroying drug, that is radioactive iodine 131. First we'll discuss the first group drug. Sorry. These first group of drugs, sodium iodine synthetase inhibitors. These drugs are not used clinically because these are poisonous substances. These mainly found in cabbage and cauliflower. When we take these cabbage and cauliflower very excessive amounts, they will block this. These drug will shows effect. In cabbage and cauliflower, there is less amounts of this pertectinate and cyothianate will be there. So these are so these food is in contraindicated, or we should tell the patient avoid eating cabbage and cauliflower. Second group of drugs are peroxidase inhibitors. These are carbimazole, methimazole, propylthiouracil. These are the commonly used drugs in the practice. Carbimazole and methimazole are uh, carbimazole. It is a product which is converted into methimazole, and propylthiouracil, it is less potent and its T half is less. Placental transfer is also very less, so it is a drug of choice for first trimester pregnancy. And it also inhibit the peripheral conversion of thyroid hormones. It is a slow acting drug. These peroxidase inhibitors, they are slow acting because once these are administered into the patient, it will take 2 weeks to show their effect because they inhibit new hormone synthesis. The but preformed hormone is all is there, so these drugs will not affect the preformed hormone. So preformed hormone normally in body, uh, this preformed hormone is synthesized for in the amounts it is adequate for 2 to 3 weeks. So when we give these drugs, there is a lag period of 2 to 3 weeks. So these are slow acting drugs. Third group of drugs, secretion inhibitors. These are the sodium, potassium iodides and Lugol's iodine. These are the fastest acting drugs. These not only inhibit the secretion but also decrease the blood supply to the gland. So gland will be firm and less vascular. And third is so because of this less vascularity during or before surgery, it is very much important to bleeding will be very less while we use these drugs before the surgery. And and fourth group of drug, peripheral conversion inhibitors. These are propranolol, propylthiouracil, prednisolone. These inhibit the peripheral conversion at different sites, that is the liver, skeletal muscle and adipose tissue, and destroying drugs. This is iodine, radioactive iodine 131. It is given orally. It is given orally. Its T half is 8 days. It emits beta and gamma rays. Beta rays will destroy the thyroid follicular cells. So these radioactive iodine is contraindicated in pregnancy and as well as children due to toxic manifestations. So next we are going in hypothyroid state. We have symptoms are very much are there. What are their palpitations, tachycardia, and are there. So we need apart from decrease the hormone, we need to control those symptoms. So to control palpitation, tachycardia, we need to give beta blockers, that is propranolol. So along with antithyroid drugs, we need to give propranolol to control the symptoms. This is regarding the hypothyroidism. In nutshell, thyroid is in broadly we can divide thyroid disorders, hypothyroid and hypothyroid. In hypothyroidic state, we need to supplement the hormone in the form of levothyroxine. In hyperthyroid state, we need to inhibit the hormone at different sites like sodium iodide importers or peroxidase inhibitors, release secretion inhibitors or peripheral convert. According to the patient problems, doctors will prefer any of the antithyroid drugs said above. So controlling symptoms are very much important in hyperthyroid state. Propranolol. Apart from medication, thyroid patient, they need to check their THS levels in frequent intervals to see the adequacy of the doses. So this is regarding the thyroid and antithyroid drugs. Thank you.